My name is Steve Chizmar, Bureau Director for PennDOT's Bureau of Innovations. It is my pleasure to host a series of podcasts celebrating the 10th anniversary of Pennsylvania's State Transportation Innovation Council, or STIC for short. The second installment of the STIC's 10th anniversary podcast series focuses on successful STIC and Federal Highway Administration Everyday Counts innovations from the past decade. Today's episode highlights the Salt and Snow Management course, an innovation that's been providing training on efficient winter maintenance operations to local governments since 2015. I am excited to welcome Sam Gregory, technical expert for Pennsylvania's Local Technical Assistance Program, and Karen Atkinson, program manager for the Pennsylvania State Association of Township Supervisors. Both Sam and Karen have been involved with the Salt and Snow Management course since the very early beginnings, and I'm looking forward to hearing more about this training and its evolution over the past several years. Welcome, Sam and Karen. So let's just dive right in here a little bit. Karen, first, can you tell the listeners a little bit about yourself and your involvement in the development of the Salt and Snow Management course?
Okay. I've been working on state contracts to educate municipal employees for about 25 years, and I've been working with the local technical assistance program for 7. And my role as a program manager for LTAP was to manage the development of the course and to develop and deliver the marketing materials and work with the planning partners to schedule the course to hold it throughout the state.
Thank you, Karen. Sam, same question. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your involvement with the development of the snow and salt management course.
Well, winter operations is one of the public works functions that is near and dear to my heart. I was first exposed to winter maintenance when I started with PennDOT back in 1976. And, I moved on to different areas. And when I was in central office, I was intimately involved in the implementation of the Federal Highway Administration's Manual of Practice for Effective Anti-Icing Program, basically helping implement the best practices for PennDOT at that time. And after leaving PennDOT, I became an instructor for LTAP, again, doing winter maintenance courses. And so when the salt and snow management course was developed, I offered my expertise by reviewing and critiquing the changes and making sure that it was something that we could relate it to the local government folks. And from there, obviously, I went on to do the instruction of it.
What was the original vision for the Salt and Snow Management course, and where did the idea for the course come from?
Well, it originated just from the concept of wanting to help municipalities reduce the usage of salt on their roads. So it was taking the original course, which was part planning and part kind of application, and trying to educate municipalities on some alternative uses for salt and how to be better stewards of the environment, and still meet the needs of the residents of having safe passages to their workplaces during the day.
Obviously, winter operations is such a huge part of our business, not only here at PennDOT, but on the local government level as well. It's rarely a day goes by in the winter. It's a rare occasion that a day goes by in the winter that we don't see ice and snow. So thank you. Karen, this next question is also for you. The STIC's motto is innovation through collaboration. How did collaboration help in advancing the salt and snow management course in Pennsylvania?
That was the planning partners. We did a lot of collaboration work with the planning partners in the initial concept of the course of trying to understand how we can help municipalities and what kinds of tools that we could possibly help them implement and use. So they definitely helped with the overall development of the course. And they also helped us schedule and market the course. They were really the voice to get the message out there. And we were able to reach a lot more municipal staff through their support.
Oh, thank you. So truly innovation through collaboration, or collaboration in motion, if you will.
Yes.
Sam, this next question is for you. Can you tell us about the benefits of the salt and snow management course and how it helps to improve winter operations for municipalities, frankly, quite all across the state?
Well, one of the main goals of the course when it was put together was to provide the municipalities with training on effective and efficient winter operations through the implementation of national and PennDOT best practices for salt applications. And by presenting the course, we've provided the knowledge to the locals to increase their level of service while at the same time saving them material, which relates obviously to a saving in money. And the instructors, using their expertise and experience, can provide real life examples to provide guidance to the participants to help with the buy-in, because a lot of the new technology and the innovations are kind of a cultural change. So you have to take what is done at a state government level and relate it to a little bit smaller operation. Basically, it's the same process. It's just at a little bit smaller operation. So the course is, bottom line, the course has helped them improve their level of service and cut back on material use. And again, like I said, relates to saving money.
And aren't we always about that, about saving dollars for the taxpayers? I mean, ultimately, the taxpayers of Pennsylvania are the biggest benefactors, of course, such as this. Sam, can you share with us some of the feedback you have received from municipalities and how it helped influence the overall curriculum for the course?
Yes. Basically, one of the things that I would do when I was out talking about the course was I would tell them to go into it slowly, and that way to document whether or not they were actually saving material and improving their operation. And the bottom line, when I'd go back a year later, man for man would say they were very skeptical about what we were telling them originally, but they've noticed the savings in material, and it saved them a lot of time, and they can get on to some of their other roads quicker off of their primary roads. And they've bought into it to the point where they would upgrade a couple of their trucks to do, say, some pre-wetting. And when I would go back a year later, they would be upgrading the entire fleet. And in addition to that, not only did we concentrate on that, we concentrated on calibrating the material spreaders, which is kind of a sore subject with the operators. They're used to looking in the mirror, and what they see, they figure that's the right amount to put down. And again, I've gotten a lot of feedback from the people that when we went out and did a technical assist and showed them how to calibrate their equipment, it resulted in a reduction in material needed based on pavement temperatures and the different times of the winter. And they have to say that they were reluctant at first, but they agree that the innovations and the best practices are helping them out with their winter maintenance services.
Oh, thank you, Sam. Karen, this next question is for you. The Salt and Snow Management course received STIC incentive program funding in 2015. What was that funding used for, and how did it help in moving the innovation forward?
Okay. The funding was used to develop the actual initial course itself, and it also provided 12 deliveries. And the goal of that was to cover and kind of blanket the whole entire state that first year, which we really did. But the funding really accelerated our timeline. We always had a vision of developing this course, but of course, with budgets, it's just one by one. Each year we got to develop a new course, and it wasn't really, really high on the list. There were some other items that we needed to take care of first. So by having this funding, we were able to get this course out a lot sooner and help municipalities. And the best part about this is LTAP has continued to offer it yearly. So it is always requested every fall and even sometimes into January. So the initiative has continued to support and help municipalities.
Thank you, Karen. And yeah, that's what the STIC incentive funds are all about too, being able to get those innovations in motion or in place much more quickly than we could using traditional means. So thank you. Sam, the Salt and Snow Management course was first introduced to the STIC in 2015. How has it evolved over the years, and what does it look like now?
Well, Winter maintenance operations is one of the public works activities that's constantly evolving. So obviously, any new technology that's come about after the original course, we've had to make sure that it was updated to include all those changes. In addition, Pennsylvania being such a diverse state, there were a lot of areas that still relied on anti-skid material for their unpaved and low volume roads. So we had to add a module on anti-skid material so we didn't lose the focus on those people, especially the ones in the rural areas. And as with the original course, even though they were using the anti-skid or an anti-skid salt mix, we wanted to make sure they were using it very efficiently. Since then, with the changes to in-person instruction due to COVID, we reduced the course to a half-day Winter Maintenance 101 session to allow for a virtual presentation back during COVID when we weren't going out and doing in-person. That way we could ensure the best practices was still getting out to the folks that had to do winter operations in their areas, and we geared it more towards the field personnel. We wanted to make sure they were aware of all the changes and all the new best practices so they could implement them and put them into practice. Now, because we reduced the salt and snow management course from a full day to a half day, we are currently working on a half day, what we're going to call Winter Maintenance Planning 202. And this course will be geared towards management, emphasizing planning and preparation strategies such as budgeting and workforce training, material procurement, etc. And so we can touch both the field personnel with Winter Maintenance 101, and we can touch the management and the supervisors with Winter Maintenance Planning 202.
Thank you, Sam. Anyone who's been around the STIC for a while or has some familiarity with it realizes that the technical advisory groups, or TAGs for short, are really the backbone of the operation. And Karen, you've been a maintenance TAG member since the early days of the STIC. What are some of the benefits of bringing in an innovation such as this to the STIC?
It accelerates the progress. We were able to get the course out a lot sooner. It also exposes an idea to a large group of people that are involved in the industry. So potentially they have some ideas and resources to add to the project. And then they also have the ability to help us promote and support the innovation after it's already been promoted and executed. So it connects you with a great group of industry people to make a difference and make things happen.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. Sam, as the former maintenance TAG chair, what was your most memorable moment during your involvement with the STIC and the TAG in particular?
Well, I have to play off of what Karen just talked about. I was very impressed with the vast array of participants from all aspects of public administration and their knowledge and their willingness to share their knowledge so we could get some of the innovations implemented across the entire state. Probably one of my most memorable experiences when I first started on the first day, I'll be honest, I was a little skeptical of taking on a new duty. And one of the things I was relating to the committee with was the frustration of implementing innovations that are used by neighboring states, and we getting a little bit of pushback in order to implement them into Pennsylvania. And I remember several people saying, well, that really doesn't make sense. We have to change that and get these innovations out quicker through this committee. And that was very encouraging for me to participate in.
Well, thank you, Sam. And Karen and Sam, this last question is actually for both of you. Karen, we'll go with you first. Karen, do you have any advice for individuals who want to get involved with the TAG?
I would say definitely get involved. The more voices, the more ideas, it's always helpful. And with the PennDOT staff support right now, it's really easy to participate in the meetings and without a lot of time. but I think your time is well spent with the tag, especially if you can provide some input and advice. And I just feel like they're getting a lot done right now with all the staff support that they have.
That's good to hear. Thank you. Thank you, Karen. Sam, same question to you.
Well, I agree with what Karen said. I encourage people to get involved in it simply because, number one, they may have some ideas that need to be shared statewide. Again, Pennsylvania being such a diverse state, what we do in the West, people in the East might not be aware of, and vice versa. And becoming involved in the tag, they can share their knowledge and they can gain knowledge and go back and help everyone implement these innovative and best practices.
Thank you, Sam. Again, we've been speaking with Sam Gregory and Karen Atkinson. Sam and Karen, before we close, is there anything you would like to add? Go ahead,
I'll
Sam.
jump in on that. One of the side benefits of the salt and snow management training, you talked about the collaboration. It's a collaboration with some of the stormwater commissions. They have helped us reach out to additional participants by sponsoring some of the training. And the goal of the salt and snow management course and their goal of reducing stormwater runoff pollutants go hand in hand. So it's not only the public works at the local level and the DOT level, but we're being assisted in the collaboration with some of the other commissions because the goals are very similar.
Thank you, Sam. Karen, any final thoughts?
No, it's just that the STIC is definitely making a difference. And, my goal from LTAP is to reach out to municipalities and work with locals. So a lot of my involvement is having my ears open and trying to determine what ideas could be applied on the local level, and making sure through the LTAP program we are also promoting the STIC projects. So for me, it's just been a great outlet to learn about things.
Fantastic. Karen, Sam, thank you both so much for participating today. Thank you for joining us today and for helping us celebrate the PA STIC's 10th anniversary and its efforts to develop and deploy innovations across Pennsylvania. Visit www.penndot.pa.gov/STIC to learn more about the PA STIC and how we are innovating transportation in Pennsylvania.